So, new slide. Everybody here? Okay. No, yeah, we'll explain. I broke, let's be nice, I broke things sort of twice. First of all, we didn't need to check out part 4, so we didn't need to have the error completely. And I broke part 4, but the reset, but that doesn't matter. If people still have problem at the moment, this should work. It should reset to the data you need for part 2 and part 3. So, does everybody has a working environment again? Yeah? Is everybody on part? Jeez. Does everybody has the data for part 3, at least? Part 4, yeah, it doesn't matter a lot. It just goes a bit faster, but it doesn't matter. I just set the wrong part before, so it's a problem. But if you want to check out the branch part 2, then we've finished the last part. And I'm going to try if this works again. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's maybe not the most convenient thing. Did everybody had the images already in the previous? Yeah? Well, then we probably need to check out part 3. Sorry, I thought some of you were still busy. I hope I'm not lying. I'm going to check because I'm starting to doubt myself now. Yeah, part 3. So, is everybody on branch part 3 at the moment? Are you having some trouble still, or? Did you check out part 3? You want to check out part 3 right now?
He checked out part 5. Like
yeah.
You said part
yeah.
5, then reset
check
part
out
4, and then
check out minus F. Just force each part right now. The reset command to part 3 for now. It's probably easiest. Yeah, that sometimes takes a while. I'll just go on until you wait for that. In the next part, we are going to use referencing in PHPCR. How to explain it the most conveniently? You can reference other nodes, but the nice thing is it will actually link to the other nodes. So if you what we will do in a moment, retrieve a node property that is a reference, you will actually get the other node instead of just an ID that you again have to query. So that's yes, it's see it as some sort of symlink or something like that, or a shortcut. And after that, we are going to create a menu by just looping through our tree structure. So that's might be easy, but we'll see. So as the first step for using the references, you need to add the mixin referenceable. It's a default mixin, already exists. In this example, I would add it to the media page. And it's because we're going to create a custom route named gallery to that page. So /gallery will load the page, press /media in a moment. So if you want to add the mixin, I'm going to try if get him to work. Still starting, wow. Yeah, it sometimes takes forever. I'm not sure why. Usually it's very fast, and sometimes it takes 3 minutes. So the next step, if you have added the mixin, is to create a new node at the root. So not on a /CMS, but at the root. And you can call /routes, roots. How do you pronounce it? Routes, roots. Potatoes, potatoes. Tomatoes, roots. And under the roots node, you can create a gallery node. I don't think you can create the whole path at once, route/gallery. No, I think you will get an error, so you have to create routes first, then gallery.
It's not on the CMS, it's
No, directly on the root, so not on the /CMS. It's outside the content tree. Probably you would probably call the CMS node /pages or something. Yeah, probably, yeah. It's just how you want to structure your own data. But I was working on that and I didn't want to change all my previous parts anymore, so I just kept it as CMS. But it's right, it's not the most convenient naming in this case. Does everybody has the node, the gallery node? I'm going to try and help him again. Or Dan, can you help the guy behind you maybe? He was having some trouble. Sorry?
Ah, no, she said, okay.
Yeah, they'll be there in a moment. Because we are going to set a property on the gallery node at the moment, but we are giving the property a type. We haven't done that before. Oh yeah. You probably reset to part 4.
No, I reset it back to part 3.
Yeah, but you have checked out part 4 and reset to part 4 before the break.
No, I checked out part 5, reset it to part 4.
Yeah, actually.
Checked out part 4.
Yeah.
But then I checked out part 3 and reset it to part 3
Oh,
again.
you did reset to part 3. Did you?
You thought so?
Yeah, no, that's correct. So just didn't know what I was writing on the screen. Do you use workspace part 3 in your code? You checked out the branch, so I shouldn't exist then. Or I made another error.
How do we see the ID of the media?
You can just node list or ls. It will show the properties. It will also show the UID that's generated automatically once you added the mixin to it. So you already had the routes?
Yes.
And the gallery?
I shouldn't have had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you type workspace list in your shell at the moment? You might be working in part 4 only in your shell. Colon list. List, yeah. Workspace list? 2 dots above each other. Like node list, workspace list.
Okay, I got it. That
Yeah.
one. Okay, I always confuse them. Like
Yeah.
this. Okay.
Where's the star? Default. Yeah, so you're using default. If you want to do use part 3.
Should have logged out and into the shell. Is that possible?
Yeah. And by default it uses part. Yeah, I didn't mention that because it's sort of outside the track if you reset. For everybody that uses to reset, probably everybody by now, When you log into PHPCR shell, you need to actually use the correct workspace. So once you logged in, you have to type use and then the part we are at. So in this case, part 3. And now you're actually, if you type workspace list without typos, you'll see the star behind part 3. Else you'll be in your default workspace and it's not the same as what you will see in your browser. Yeah, I was just... So... Whoa, I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think I did. Yeah, you probably need to save. I'm not sure. You definitely need to save, I just heard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can set it. I think we do that in Jackalab somewhere. No. Doesn't Doctrine ODM always generate the UID? Yeah. Yeah. So just look at the properties of the node and you will see the new property UID. You need to... Have you created the node?
Add property node to routes gallery. Okay, no property set.
Node, yes. That's awesome. Set type reference. What?
I created the routes.
Did you save the session? But where? If you do node list on /routes. Ah, you created it underneath CMS. You need to create it at the root.
No.
You don't have it at all.
But I created it. Probably I lost it with the refresh.
Yeah, that might be it. Did you add the mix into it?
Yeah. Mix
Referenceable. Did you save the session? As Dan said? Or just save? It's a shortcut. Where does it? Oh, it doesn't tell you where the session is. Awesome. But what's the last thing you did? Because did you already create a property? Ah, yeah. That might be the issue. Can you remove that property? Because you can't create a property with type reference without actually referencing a valid node. So I didn't write on the screen you need to save your session, which is pretty important. So yeah, referenceable. That's an awesome word in English. I always type wrong 3 times. Yeah. I see a lot of red here.
Yeah,
it's fine now. Yeah. Yeah. So you have the UID already? Cool. So now you just need to add the property to the... You already created the node, the route/gallery?
Yep.
Yeah?
Oh, yes, gallery.
It's even lower, yeah. No, it's in the root of your repository, so below the CMS, or next to the CMS. Yeah? So if you do the property set with type reference, just... Yeah, I probably do it automatically and then I forget to put it on the slide, so sorry for that. And if I type something with brackets around it, it's a variable. You don't need to type it literally. I probably need to mention that as well. So the UID is actually the value of... Yeah, I saw you do it, so I thought, oh, wait. It's logic because I typed it, but not for other people. That would be better, yeah. I'm not sure how it would work, but it definitely would be better. Yeah, you need to, yeah. Then is that something you want to implement in PHPCR shell? That you can, yeah, that doesn't matter. That you just, instead of pasting a UID, that you can paste a path in it? That you itself. I'm not sure what the edge cases are there, but
yeah, I mean it's possible without reference.
yeah, might be helpful. Is it working for you?
I guess so. But and then what's the effect right now? So if I
Have you saved your session again after? Yeah, then your the effects will be clear in the next slide. I hope. Well. So in our code, we had the CMS root node, from which we were fetching the path from the URL. What we're now going to do is add another base node, in this case the routes node, to query that again. And in your code, you can do something like, if I find a route node for this path, I'm going to use that. And if not, I'm going to try and find the node in the CMS tree. And if that fails, I can throw a 404 to the browser. And to actually get the correct node, like I already mentioned a bit, you can just fetch the property value of the property node we just created, and it will return the node itself instead of the UID that is actually in the property. So that makes it pretty powerful to work with and to show your content. So this might need you to refactor some of your code, depending on how you build it at the moment. In the examples I created, I think I created the function handle node that I just pass a node. So in the else if, I just call the handle node again. But just up to you how you want to implement it. So if you finish this, you should be able to access /gallery in your browser, and you should get the media page with title and content from that media. Is this working? Are people having trouble or are you all just tired because of day 3?
It doesn't enter into this part here.
Are you accessing /gallery?
Slash gallery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you set the type of the property node? No.
think so.
Well, you can check. And did you save after that?
Yeah. What? It's
No, here. Yeah, you forgot to add the type to it. We'll go back one slide. Back. You forgot that part. So now you just have the string, and that doesn't work very well. So just type as reference. Is it working? Ah, that's just CMS, yeah? You create a new variable, $roots node, or something like that. Yeah. So you just retrieve the node routes, just as you retrieved node CMS before. And in the part where you checked if the page existed in the CMS tree, you now are going to check if it exists in the routes tree first. So you can create some sort of shortcut. So yeah, so this if will become just below that. Yeah, sorry. Does it work on your screen? No. This if you are checking if it exists in the CMS node, but before that you now want to check if it exists in the routes node. So you can you have to let that be there. Like as you see on the screen, I just first check if it exists in the routes node, and if it doesn't, then I'm going to check if it exists in the CMS node. So in your actual application, this probably should be part of your router in some way. Just check different sources if a route exists. And so does almost everybody has it? Who doesn't has it yet? Has it? So the most important part is the get property value from the property node, which will return the actual node. So in this case, the node media, press / media. Oh, advanced. What we are now going to do is create a new mixin again, because we are going to create a menu. And for a menu, you probably want to limit the child nodes in a menu, because you don't want to just add a unstructured node below a menu item. So we want to limit it to other menu items. And in this case, we're going to do it by appending. It's almost the same as the previous one. Only we have the properties label and path. I'm not going to use referencing here. You could have done that. I'm just using the path to retrieve nodes. But besides that, we are going to add the requirement to have the child node be of type unstructured, or more specific. Doesn't matter in this context. But it's required to have the mixin menu item. So this means that once you create a menu item, all its child nodes have to be other menu items. So it's in the same way as previous. So you do node type edit, and then mix menu node. Do I need to get the slide for here? I'll type it over here. It's probably easier. Node type edit without typos again. Am I forgetting something? No, right? Again, you should have the editor exported before starting shell, but you probably already have it. So the structure is almost the same as previous. We have the same demands for a mixin, orderable query a mixin. We have two properties that are mandatory, and the new part is the child node restriction for this type of nodes. Menu item. Yeah, it's. I'm confusing, I know. Yeah, you reset it once, so you already have the menu item.
Okay.
So you can just, no, you don't have to type it over. Okay. Lucky you. Yeah, it might give an error. I had it as well, that it's...
Okay,
it's
clean it up?
No, you just can ignore it for now. It will work, only it's another bug. Might be in Jackrabbit, I'm not sure. Yeah, if you edit this menu, this mixin again, it already has added the operator limitations.
Yeah, so
But if you
the CMD process.
ah, so it's a bug in PHPCR itself, or not? Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, sorry, not in the spec itself. Yeah, you have the same as you already have the mix in. You can just quit and ignore this. So no, don't retry. It's already good. Does everybody has the mix in added, or no, already had the mix in, as some of you already had? Yeah. So to do this, you'll need to. You don't need to, but we are going to retrieve another root node. I forgot the part where you need to create the menu, but you probably know how to create nodes already. But you can create a menu. You can do it however you like it. So in the root of your repository, just besides CMS and besides routes, you create your menu. And you can create it any way you like. So you can create only 2 of the pages, or you're creating 10 links that point to the same node. I don't really care how you do it. The point was more, you shouldn't have to create a lot of nodes, because the point's more to show how the mixin works with child nodes. So you can't add content nodes below it. Your session can't be saved then. So for now, it's just the idea to create some nodes, and after that, we can render them on our page. We don't have to create a lot of nodes, because we don't have a lot of time anymore. Although some of you who already had the menu item might also have part 4 in the repository already. So you can just use that workspace, and you don't have to create menu items. Although it might be fun to create some of them, but just whatever you wish. Yeah, some people, you don't have to reset it at the moment. Can you log in again? Sorry, yeah, and use part 4 in this case. View Alice. You don't have it anymore. Yeah. Do you have part 5? No, you don't. Then you have to. If you do use part 3 now, then you have your old workspace. Yeah, so you can create nodes there. So I think for now 2 or 3 menu items would be sufficient. If you like recursion, you can add multiple levels, but it would show that if you add a node that you didn't give the mix-in menu node, the menu item, it would yell at you when you try to save the session. And here I use the path just as literal value for the URL. As I said, you can always use referencing here and use the node in that manner. But as you only need the path to redirect users, you don't need referencing here. jackalope/notes. Backslash. Or PHPCR node interface, whatever you prefer. You don't necessarily need to copy what's on the screen, it's just what I came up with. It's on the screen it's even simpler as what I have done in the examples in the branch part 4 should be. Because this just renders the lists, and there I rendered an ordered list, but for the example it doesn't matter. And depending on the website you're building, you might not even want to create a separate route for your menu. You might just build your menu based on your CMS node, because you might use properties to indicate if it should be included in the menu or not. But that's totally up to you what you need for your client. Or and I might have made another typo, an extra E. It's the disadvantage of using real code, trying to paste it into your slide, so it doesn't fit, and remove stuff, and then you get typos. It isn't, but that's part of why I wanted to show this. Each node is iterable, because it can have children. You can just iterate. Yeah, you can just iterate over the nodes. Yeah, it implements the iterator interface, I think. Yeah. And I'm not 100% sure, but the if has nodes is required to check for child nodes. You can't count, because the count will also return the properties, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you, because I tried with count and it failed for me, but it's for the last one, if has nodes. You can't do a count here on the node. Yeah, I did try it, and it returned 1 when I didn't have any childs. So I think it will return 1 because you have the property primary type already. I haven't debugged it. I just I did. Yeah, didn't try that. Cool. Does everybody have this, or has enough to see how you can iterate over nodes, how you can use mixins to require child nodes, or a type of child nodes? Yeah? Ah, I skipped the introduction. The last part, unless we have time left, we're going to implement versioning. It's a pretty neat feature of the PHPCR spec, or the JCR spec. And we're going to implement it by creating a drop-down in which you can choose a version that exists, and you can then switch between versions in your browser. So first, we're going to add the mixin versionable to the node you want to version. So just as with the referencing, when you add the mixin referenceable, you need to add the mixin versionable. Pretty straightforward. And this time I actually added all the save statements because here it's even more important. And if you have the mixin, you need to check out, I'm not sure it's required, but you need to check out a node or tell the implementation that you checked out a node. And that just indicates that you are working on the node and you will be publishing a new node in the future, in the near future. So after you checked out the node, you can change your node, change your title, change the content, add extra properties. Doesn't matter very much. Then you need to check in your node and then save, but I fear it's the other way around. I think it's the other way around, because I think you can't check in an unsaved node. So I really need to check my slides first. So if you have checked out node, changed some of the properties, like the title, you need to save the node again and then check in that node. Yeah, session save. Or just save, because it's an alias. But if you won't check in the nodes, it won't be updated as the current version, so you will still receive the old version. So in this example, I just versioned your homepage, but you can version every page you want. You can even version the images or the PDF file. So is it working, or oh yeah, we're still with the menu items. Yeah. You probably need to reset to part 4. Yeah, if you check out part 5, because I think you still have the broken branch. Check out part 5. Yeah, and then run resets for part 4. Yeah. Hopefully, I hope it doesn't take it long. Way faster. So if you check out part 4 again, the Git branch, part 4. Else you have nothing to do. No, you shouldn't have to, but Yeah. And then use part 4. Yeah. Yeah, you should have the menu now, yeah. So if you now add the mixed in versionable, you should have a new version. If you created a version, you should be able to find the versions within Jackrabbit already. But I'm not sure what the path is. Which part am I on? I hope. Yeah. Yeah. Nodes property. Yeah, almost. So I have new version. It's the default. I think you can manually set versions, but I haven't. The root version. There is. Didn't actually had versions before because we didn't have the mix in versionable. So we have a root version as the original version. And I think if you look in, it's not really exciting, but the system, yeah, it's the JCR version storage. That's pretty deep. But here the actual versions are stored.
Yeah, but that's specific to the Jackrabbit.
Again, yeah, yeah.
So any content flows, we can choose how it's called.
Yeah. Yeah. So does everybody has at least one version, new version of a node? Does anybody doesn't have a version yet? Yeah? Do you need help? Well, we'll see.
I tried to cheat, but it didn't work. Just check out.
They don't get help if you try to cheat. What's happening?
I reset it to 5.
Yeah.
And wanted to see
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Yeah, that's cheating. I didn't create the end result for part 5, so you can't reset to the end result in this case.
So what?
You can't reset to the end result in this case.
Okay.
So you really have to type it yourself. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Just find versions CMS.
Yeah. We will be using the version history in the next step in PHP. So.
GCR version.
So PHPCR supports 2 types of versioning.
Yeah.
There's a simple version, which is linear versioning. There's also a more advanced versioning, branch versioning, which is a bit more like Git.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I haven't used it is because it's not implemented.
Yeah. Yeah. I myself, I don't see the use case in this case that much, because you can use workspaces as well. So branching, versioning, and workspaces, it's a bit. You can do a lot with all those tools. So it's a bit the same. No, it's not the same. I haven't used branching as well. Anybody needs help, or is almost done, or? Yeah. 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 Can I go to the next one, or do you? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you already had the command, so. You should get a message that you created version 1.0.0 once you checked it in. For people that were already ready, nice. You can create an extra version just to have more to choose from in the next part. We'll do that in PHP. It's not very. Did you receive the message version 1.0?
Yeah.
Then it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's pretty easy. So in PHP, we have a version manager. It's what it says. It's to manage versions, and you have to retrieve it from the workspace, which you can get from the session. From there, you can access the version history, or you can just request the latest version. But you can also just retrieve the node and get the exact same node. For our dropdown that we are going to create, we are going to use the version history and just retrieve all versions. That will also contain the root version, which looks a bit weird, but it's fine for now. Besides this, you can also retrieve a specific version. So the label you saw in your terminal, version 1.0, you can just pass to get version on version history. And you will receive a version object. This isn't the node yet. This is the version object with extra information about the version, when it's created and stuff like that, and if it's checked out. To actually get the node itself, you need to call getFrozenNode on the version. And you can almost see that as a snapshot from the node at the time that you checked it in. So with these commands, you should be able to create a drop-down with versions. If you prefer, you can also generate a list with links, so you don't have to write JavaScript and a form to update it. It's up to you. I recommend using the version get name. I'm not even sure by head. I need to peek. But which will return the 1.0 itself. So you can use that to create a link with the version. in your index.php, or how you created it, you should build some checks in some form, however you like yourself, that will check if a version is requested and retrieve that version instead of the regular node. And it probably will be easier if I just show the code in this case. Do we have it there? No. So good, check out port 5. No. So in this case, I just have the version manager available at the top of my file, but it's again up to you. I'm going too far, I think. Yeah. I created the function to render a content node. Not sure how you guys all handle it at the moment. If you check out my branch, you probably have the function already. And I gave it the node that we retrieve simply based on the request URI. So in this case, from the path from the request URI, I did an extra trick here to strip off get parameters from the request URI. So it depends a bit how you created your model, but you might need to do the same to just get the path. When we have that node again, we will, if it's a simple page node, render the content node. And in there, I use the global variable version manager. I'm sorry, but it was way easier this way. And just check if I got a version that was requested, and the node that was requested is versionable. Otherwise, you can't retrieve the actual versions. We'll retrieve the version history based on the path of the node requested, and we retrieve the version based on the get parameter. And from that, I retrieve the actual frozen node. So I have the version requested instead of the node that is the current version, the latest version. Over here, I did some extra to actually select the correct version in the dropdown. You don't actually have to do that, just whatever you like. So that's the part of selecting the version you want to show. You want to show the title and the content for. But besides that, I have in my... No, that's too fast. I have some functions that retrieve all the versions available. So it uses the version manager again, and for the given path, I request all versions. So for most of you, I guess it's only the root version and version 1.0. And I had a function to retrieve the base version, so the latest current version, so I could select the dropdown. And in my templates, I use it like this. If I have versions, I'll create the form with the dropdown, and the version has a name. I use as value as well as a label later on. And I also show the date the version was created. This will return a datetime object, so you need to format it. And that's, yeah, more or less how I created the versions. It's a bit much probably to do in one go. So yeah, how do you guys think you can work from now to try and list the versions and change your current version, change the version you show, I mean? I'll go back to the slide with all the functions on it. Yeah. So I think the only function missing from the slide is the version get name to actually use in your link or dropdown or whatever. But the version object has a method get name that will return 1.0 or gchar root version is the name of the root node. Does everybody get to work on this, or do I need to explain it a bit better, or do you want me to type with you, or? The slides and the code will be available afterwards, so you. You need some help? Or it's going a bit fast maybe, but...
It's a bit too fast already, yeah. But I grabbed in any case all the IDs.
You can also just check out branch part 5, where the code is already available. So you can just browse the code, it might be easier to... then you can also play around with it and see what function does what. And you don't need to reset in this case. The only thing you probably need to do now is in your bootstrap file, you need to change part 5 to part 4, because that is where you created your versions. Yeah, there. Yeah, because you created the versions already, or not yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I even just got it displayed in the homepage. So.
Ah, nice. Have you saved it?
Sorry?
Have you saved the bootstrap file?
No.
No, just.
Yeah, right now I have saved.
Otherwise, you could refresh already, but. Yeah. So now you have to drop down with your version.
How is the version labeling actually done? Is it automatically or can you push it?
Yeah, I think you can push it, but I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure what the default implementation is, when it's a 1.0 and a 2.0 and when a 1.1. I'm guessing, but I'm not sure, if you add a property, it's a 1.1. But if you remove or change property, it will increase a major number. Because it's totally different than the previous one, but it's, I don't know. You can try, you will see. Yes. Yeah, that might be it. Might be because we never. The root version might be the very first node you ever saved.
Okay.
I'm not completely sure if that's true, but I had the same error while I was working on it. So that probably is the node you created before you even added a title and a content.
Ah, okay.
previous version. We probably should have checked in the current version before checking out, and
I'll just skip the one.
it was a surprise to me as well when I was working on it that the root version isn't actually the latest version before adding versioning, but it might be, I'm not sure. You actually get an error about a property title that doesn't exist, so. We're finding loads of bugs in these workshops. We have to do it more often. Yeah. So we have like 10 minutes left. Does somebody wants to do an extra thing, or do you want to finish this, or? Query language, yeah. I hope I know it from head, but I'll try.
So basically, PHPCR supports query language, a dialect of SQL called JCR and SQL2. Which we use to query the content function. It's quite similar to non-SQL. You select from
Wait.
source, which is a node type.
Here? All right. Select star from, right? Yeah. Unstruck. I can't type. Very frustrating. Would you actually select always based on a node type, right? And not on a path or on a...
Yeah, so if you select, for instance, entity base is the root.
Yeah.
So by selecting entity base,
Would be all. I'm thinking this doesn't work. Oh, it does work. Awesome. So we can also select all menu items.
yeah, so you can select, if you select an entity base, you select all the nodes in the repository. Otherwise, you can select any other or entity folder node, or any other.
Yeah. Descendant node? Descendant, zeker, I guess. Wait, darn. I'm not sure. Nope. Ah, yeah, of course. So that's...
Yeah, the gap there's documentation on our website.
Yeah.
And in addition to select, select is part of the PHPCR specification. But in addition, PHPR shell supports experimental update. We recently update actually with MySQL shell, and also supports delete. But these aren't actually provided as a specification.
Ah. Oh. Okay. Watch the keyboard, then watch the screen. Wait, what? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Descendant. Yeah. Typing is hard. Yay! Finally. Slash press. We get all these. I got spoiled by the ODM, but just as autocomplete. Ah, that's, yeah. Do you want to type that? I did. Oh, almost. Oh yeah, new. Does that work? She did. Ah, like that, yeah. Full bar. Cool. Yeah. You edited 3 weeks ago? The update? Yeah. We like danger, don't we? So yeah, we have 5 minutes left, so do you want some coffee or do you want to see more queries that I don't know from head? So any other questions, maybe? I have a question for you. What do you think about PHPCR? About the way to store content? It is powerful. It does have some drawbacks, but one of the drawbacks I encountered once, I tried to use PHPCR or Jackalope to store logs from IRC, for IRC, the chat thingy. But that means that the way I initially did it, I stored all lines in a single in a node, in each other nodes. But that meant like, depending on the channel, 1,000 nodes under. Yeah, because I had a property with the time and with the message. But that meant I had like 1,000 nodes underneath one node, and that doesn't work. Yeah, 1,000 nodes works, but 5,000 doesn't work anymore. Yeah, it totally depends. Yeah, because there is an MongoDB implementation. Not sure how stable working it is, but it's there. Yeah, that's right. It's somebody started it and never finished it, I think. Yeah, that's definitely. Because Mongo would handle that much better, probably. Not sure how Mongo says it. Yeah.
And the Docker implementation is really good in development. But because it stores everything in a relational database, you have a slide that empty. And there's no version of Docker debug.
No.
Although Lucas did do some benchmarking, and actually the debug implementation is quite fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good. But
I think to understand that PHPCR, for me, it's like an engine for CMS. So it's the sort of thing that you could have lines.
yeah.
Or you could have lines over through. So if you're creating a CMS, you can save a lot of time by using PHPCR. Yeah, of course. There's some talk about maybe
all of you did use the feature, because the reset commands does exactly that. It just imports the command, and I exported it before, so it's really powerful.
It answers a lot of the problems that you encounter when you use CMS, like it, like ethical, like version, workspaces.
Yeah.
Looks like many of the easy publish functionalities could be implemented.
Yeah.
PHPCR.
So does it fit on the screen? Yeah. The 17. Oh, I'm missing a few. Oh no, there's no test for the first 3. So some things we didn't show, we didn't do. Observation, but not all of this is implemented in either Jackrabbit or Jackalope itself. So, yeah.
So observation can work in 2 ways. It's like a link system. So if you've got a repository running in the same process, you get sort of real-time notifications. But if it's running a separate process, it's running on a separate country repository, then it will log the events to what do you call it, a message queue, like for example, Rabbit queue. Yeah, so you've got this, they call it asynchronous.
I don't know. Don't know the details.
Yeah, but anyway, you can read the message queue and you can respond to events.
Yeah. There's also things like access control management, which Jackrabbit partially has, I think.
Yeah, Jackrabbit supports that. Right?
Yeah. You can log nodes, like with first checkout. You can just say, I'm working on this, don't touch it, stuff like that. Lifecycle management, pretty cool features. So. But yeah, that's about it for the workshop for today. Don't forget to vote. You seem to get extra chances of winning if you vote, so please vote. That's what they told me. I can't. Thank you.